Honestly, SMMA hasn't really changed at all in the last few years until recently. Is SMMA ever going to die completely? Is it too saturated? Is it even worth starting? I get these questions quite a bit in my YouTube comments, and I'm a small YouTuber, so you can kind of imagine guys who are bigger. And to kind of answer those quickly, I would say, no, it's not dead, no, it's not too saturated, and yes, it's worth starting, but it all kind of depends on what you want to do with it. So I just said SMMA hasn't changed until recently, and why is that? The rise of AI in SMMA has kind of made the space go crazy. As AI is getting a bit more used and is becoming more useful towards agencies, people are using it more often. And I think SMMA is becoming so big because of the recent craze of making money online, and especially during COVID, when everyone was in a lockdown and everyone was trying to make money online and basically replace their job income with online income. And SMMA was a pretty big target for doing that. That, drop shipping, and some other stuff that you guys probably have heard of, like crypto and stocks, right? Now, obviously, AI is a great tool to use when used correctly. Now, I don't think SMMA is dead, nor do I think it's too saturated. Actually, I think it's very much alive in a different way. However, I do think that the standard SMMAs, the ones where it's just like one service and the same old thing that has been happening for the last 20 years, is becoming a little saturated, or tricky would be a better word. It's kind of in a gray area of like, yeah, it's kind of dead and it's kind of too saturated, but there's still so many agencies doing it, just one service, and they're doing well with it. But there are so many agencies now that are offering so many services because of AI making it easy to do so, that it's almost not worth starting an agency for just one service alone. You should add like 2 or 3 services that all kind of connect into one. For example, with Facebook ads, you can kind of put, you can put copywriting, you can put the video editing itself, instead of just, we'll write down your campaigns for you and that's it. So what can you do to help your SMMA not end up in a dead zone, or in a gray zone is what I like to call it? Well, let's talk about saturation as a whole. In an industry like digital marketing, it's dependent on your niche, service, and kind of honestly where you are living in the world. If you start an agency today, you shouldn't really be scared of the niche you have interest in because of how saturated that niche might be. Instead, just go for it. Just get a niche that you like and you have interest in. Like, I like real estate, but just pick a single niche and get good at it. Get good at the service you're trying to learn in that niche, and just get good enough so you can actually sell that service. You can pick a service in that niche that is universal to other niches, like Facebook ads, like TikTok ads, like just Google ads in general. Most businesses in every niche like Google ads, like better reviews on Google, you know what I'm saying? So you could kind of choose a universal service, and you could kind of outreach to many niches at once if you don't want to pick a certain niche. Even though I do suggest you just pick one niche, it's just easier to handle. But you could always pick multiple niches at once and just pick a service that is more universal, like copywriting as well. Now, if you find success in your decisions of picking the niche that you picked, then obviously keep going at it. But if you don't be afraid to switch niches. There's no problem with switching a niche like 2 months into your journey. Is the answer going to be switching a niche? Maybe, maybe not. It kind of depends on what your outreach method is like. If you're not getting any replies at all, then maybe it's time to switch out your outreach method. Maybe go to Instagram DMs and Facebook DMs instead of cold calls. Maybe try more emails. Maybe try a different kind of script. There's so many things that you can do and use to help with outreach. So if you're not finding results and answers, you don't have to always switch your niche, but it could also be a huge help as well. Like, let's say you've been outreaching for like a month straight, like 100 DMs a day, 50 DMs a day, and you have a 0% success rate. There's like almost no replies. Everyone's just saying hard no's. There's no like maybes. It's just a very, very bad spot. Then think about that different angle to take your agency. That's the niche, the service, etc., things like that. But please keep in mind, these processes can take time and patience. Like, you're not going to just sign a client within the first 2 weeks. Granted, there are people who have done that. There are people who have started brand new and signed a client within the first 3 days. I've seen that before on Discord. That is a kind of a one-off, like a lucky moment. Maybe they're smart and they know what they're doing, but a lot of times they just kind of outreach to the right guy at the right time. But most likely you won't see anything good happen for a while, and sometimes like months. Depends on how much volume you're putting into your agents and how much you're doing it each day. As for AI, please be aware that AI is taking over, okay? AI is taking over the SMMA space, and you should not ignore that fact, because actually these AI tools are very, very helpful towards agencies, especially new ones who are looking for ways to be unique in the agency space. For example, GoHighLevel. Now, I talk about it a lot in my videos, but in my opinion, I say this all the time, it is the best software that I've used for SMMA. Now, it's not too unique anymore. People use it quite a bit. Also a little bit pricey as well. If you're just a one-man agency, it can get pricey, but one client and it's kind of problem solved. But it is literally an AI bot tool all-in-one thing for your agency. Anyway, so close out this amazing top tier video. No, SMMA is not dead. No, it's not saturated. And no, it's not gonna really go anywhere, so yes, it's worth starting. It's not saturated in most niches. Now, when you see the guys like Iman Ghazi saying niches that are good, right? And you see that video having 100,000 views, you better believe that half those guys are going to be thinking like, okay, maybe I should actually go to that niche. And they might go to that niche. So be careful on what niche you pick, because yes, there are saturated niches that already are kind of flooded with SMMA agencies, especially new ones starting up who are just spamming DMs constantly and making the space even harder to get into. Be aware of this, okay? Be aware that AI is taking over. Be aware that it takes patience to get your first client. Be aware that it's okay to switch your niche. I've switched my niche like 3 to 4 times before I got my first client. Start your agency, sign your first client, have fun doing it, and just learn. Become a human sponge, okay? Use AI to your advantage, okay? Goodbye.